What's going on, guys? I want to talk to you today about Rey's parents. We are going to be talking about The Last Jedi, so spoiler warning if you have not seen Episode 8 yet, we are going to be talking about that. Moving forward, I also want to remind everybody there is still time to enter the most recent giveaway, which is for a copy of The Last Jedi Visual Dictionary in the form of a $25 Amazon gift card. Only thing you need to do to enter that is be a subscriber and leave a comment. It's as simple as that. All right, guys, so let's jump right in and talk about Rey's parents. So the general consensus right now is that she's pretty much a nobody, and it's like a big middle finger to all the people who had all these amazing theories. I had some myself as well, so yes, this was a big shocker. She gets no answers in this cave, and then Kylo Ren goes and tells her that she's a nobody, and her parents were nobodies, and they sold her for drinking money. I feel like there's a very good chance that this is actually going to end up being true. It's not treated as it's ambiguous and she thinks she's lying or anything like that. It's kind of presented to you as a fact. So I think that's true. And I think it's also true because it tells a good story. In the eyes of like Disney trying to project like this really good iconic hero for a new age, it's important that I guess it seems like everybody can become that paladin, that white knight, that hero. And you don't have to be born into it. It doesn't matter where you came from. It doesn't matter if you came from nothing. It tells a good, feel-good Cinderella story. And I think that's kind of what they want to project with Rey. Whereas, you know, to be a Skywalker, you had to be born, you had to be royalty, you had to be born with that royal Skywalker blood. Not anybody could just be the hero. You had to be special. And whereas in Rey, anybody can, rise up. And hopefully they keep that going forward, and hopefully Finn gets some training too, because apparently he's not force sensitive, but maybe he can be taught to be force sensitive, but I don't want to deviate too much. But if that's the motif they're going for, I really hope that Finn gets a lightsaber in his hands again in Episode 9. But also, then another reason I think that this may be true with Rey is that by this point she's also just about met everybody that it might have mattered for. So she's had time with Leia, she's had time with Luke, and she's had time with Han. If she was related to any of them, or she was related to somebody important enough to them, then they would have said something by now. And I think this might even be like if she was a Kenobi, there's a chance, is like that Luke would know and wouldn't have been pestering her. Who are you? Who are you? And it also goes back into Episode 7. There's been a thing with Star Wars for a long time about somebody hiding in plain sight. And I think this is one of those answers that was hiding in plain sight. Because how many times did somebody ask Rey who she was, and she basically says she's a nobody? Or mocks is like, oh, it's a really big secret, I'm nobody, And we didn't really read too much into that, but it was true, and at least that's what I think is going to be true. But one of the other things I want to talk about in this movie is I think that isn't there a chance that maybe it's not true? So I want to explore that with you guys a little bit and get your feedback, because there could be reasons that she might be actually connected to somebody important. So first reason, Kylo Ren isn't exactly the most trustworthy person at the point in which he tells Rey that her parents were nobodies. You got to think about this. At this point in time, he wants Rey by his side, like really badly. He wants her to feel, one of the ways he's going to get her is to feel like she's not special and that she only matters to him. And he's kind of being a little bit of a douche, if you ask me. But that's kind of something that, like a kidnapper or just a bad person will do. Like, you're not important. You're terrible. Fortunately for you, I'm somebody who actually cares about you. I'm the only one who cares about you. So, he's not acting nobly. So lying isn't necessarily out of the question for somebody who's pretty much embracing the dark side. So it's possible that he's lying. Another thing is, in Episode 7, Rey had this big Force vision, and she got voices, and among those voices was Obi-Wan, where they had both Alec Guinness and Ewan McGregor both, merged together to call Rey out by name. But you had multiple voices in there, but it seemed like there was some significance to that vision, and it could have related to her parentage. It may have been a bloodline thing. It may have been something that's more important that didn't get resolved in this movie, and that might be being held over until Episode 9. Or it might have been nothing. It might have just been the Force awakening within her, and it was just a flashback to Skywalker and Kenobi-based things because that's what the audience is familiar with. But I'm wondering if the things specifically associated with Luke Skywalker in this flashback were related to the fact that it was a Skywalker lightsaber. Why was Obi-Wan calling Rey by name? I feel like there could be more exposition into this scene, but it's not necessary. It's just, it's certainly a door that could be opened, and it might have something to do with her parentage. And then my third point of why, she might actually be connected is that I don't believe that her parents are actually nobody. They might not have been somebody that we're aware of, but nobody's really a nobody, right? Even if her parents did sell her for drinking money, everybody's somebody. All right, and like to quote Doctor Who, I've never met anybody who wasn't important. Maybe they were falling on hard times, or maybe they were lousy people, but they were still somebody. They still have names. We may never find out those names, but they still had names. Even, somebody like maybe Obi-Wan Kenobi in his extended family, brothers and sisters, kids, and maybe his grandnieces and grandnephews fell into alcoholism and eventually sold their daughter into slavery. But this way she might still be able to be somebody, and maybe Kylo Ren just didn't put two and two together and know who that was. So there is a possibility that it could be both a truth and a deception at the same time. So Kylo Ren could have been like, yeah, they were alcoholics, they sold you. While at the same time, yeah, they were alcoholic Kenobis, not Obi-Wan Kenobi's offspring, but maybe his sister's kids, or something like that. And there's always the possibility that something more is there. So this way Kylo Ren wasn't absolutely lying, but he certainly was withholding some parts of the truth. But I'm not sure. I would like to hear what you guys think. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Leave me a comment in the comment section below and let me know what you think. You think it's pretty much cut and dry? Are we done with this? Is she just a nobody that got the Force within her? Or is she, is there more to her story? Let me know what you think, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching, and have a great day.